Welcome, weary travelers, greetings, sensitive souls, and a salute to all seekers of truths unknown. Today, we pick back up with our final and third installation of the Red Book. So, with no further ado, let's dive right in. In the west coast of Scotland, in a small town called Appin, legend has it that one day a young shepherd was out in the field tending his sheep when he noticed a young orphan boy. The boy, being impressed by the man, was bold enough to introduce himself, and after the man had questioned the boy and found that he had no parents to care for him and no home to return to, the man took him home and raised him as his own son. Years later, the boy, now old enough to work, was out tending the man's herd in the field when he noticed a weirdly but extremely rich-dressed gentleman walking up the pathway. As he approached the boy, he noticed the man's bright blue eyes, as bright as the jewels that glittered off the man's strange attire. He smiled a wide-mouthed grin and spoke to the boy as if he already knew him, saying he needed a servant as well. The man impressed upon the boy that anyone who worked for him would have their bellies full with fine food and wine, and that they would be draped in the finest of garments and bid women from around the world. And most importantly, no one fit this role more perfect than he, and he should leave this life to follow him, the man, as his new master. The boy was intrigued and deep down desired the things being promised to him, but he refused to leave despite the man's persistence. To leave immediately, the boy wouldn't leave without first informing his father. The man then produced a large red book and asked the boy to at least sign his name in the book if he could not leave now. Still, the boy, still intrigued, refused to sign anything before speaking with his father first. The man then visibly became upset, saying to the boy, "Fine then, we will meet here in this very spot tomorrow at sundown," and the young boy agreed to those terms, and they both parted on their own way. The boy went home and told his father, who was shocked by the boy's story, but very knowledgeable on such things. He told the boy he was lucky not to have signed the Red Book, and if he had, he'd surely have met his end. But since a deal had been made, the boy had to keep the appointment with the man tomorrow, but not to sign anything and to follow these instructions. Handing him a sword, he told him to arrive early and to draw a circle around himself in the ground with the sword. He was to dedicate the circle to the Holy Trinity, and in its center to place a cross. It was there the old shepherd instructed the boy to stand and not to be moved until after seeing the light of the following dawn. He further instructed him that the man would request that he leave the circle or to sign the book, but not to do so. Instead, he was to request that he be given the book that he might sign his name in it, but once the book was in his possession, not to sign it nor return it to the man. He said the man wouldn't be able to enter the circle, and only there would he be safe. The following day, the boy arrived at the meeting place early and did as he was instructed. Not long after finishing, the sun began to set, and soon the man arrived, seemingly from nowhere, to the surprise of the boy, who had been watching the road for the man's approach. The man immediately commanded the boy to follow him so that he may begin his new life, the only condition being his signature in the Red Book. But the boy refused to move, but asked to closer inspect the Red Book to be assured there's no trickery or deceit. The man became angry and berate the boy for several hours, insulting his intelligence and tempting him with bribes. Finally, the man begrudgingly agreed, but as he attempted to hand the boy the book, his hand was burned as it crossed the circle lines, causing the man to drop the book and recoil in pain. The boy would seize the opportunity to grab the book and hold it close to his chest. When the man saw that the boy had no intention on signing the book nor returning it to him, flames spewed from his mouth as he roared like a beast. The man struck at the circle before changing his shape into that of a black horse, of shadows, shrieking and encircling the circle and the boy. He changed his appearance again and became a beast unknown to the boy, spitting flames and striking at the circle. The boy dared not move and remained still, clutching the book in the circle throughout the night until the sun began to ascend, the sight of which caused the beast to give one final roar before dissipating into a cloud of shadowy smoke. The boy remained in the circle until the sun had fully rose. The boy ran home, told his father, and presented the book to him, thus robbing the devil himself and gaining the knowledge and powers of the Red Book. So in summation, what are my thoughts on the Red Book? I think it's different things for different people. It's been everything from a medical guide or a journal, a spell book used by dark magicians, or Satan's lost grimoire. Who wrote the original? A monk, a bishop, Dracula, or Hashatan himself? Well, we know a little bit more about the lore of the Red Book, and we can be certain that one such Red Book was authored by Carl Jung. We know that in his own words, he was under constant assault from unseen forces while being inspired to write the Red Book. We know unseen forces exist because the visible light spectrum is the segment of the electromagnetic spectrum that can be detected by the unaided human eye, a range of about 380 to 700 nanometers. That's what we know. Here's what I think. I think these unseen energies can be sentient and attach themselves to objects and or people. I think that in my own personal case, that may have been the situation because after coming in contact with the Red Book, I feel I opened myself up to several weird occurrences, if you may say. Also, please know that I'm by no means am encouraging anyone to attempt any of these things that I'm talking about. And please be very careful when dealing with subject matters of the occult. So I'll end it with that. Please do the YouTube things like, share, subscribe, turn your notification on, and join us next time when we discuss NDEs or near-death experiences. Thank you.